the Artist Interrogations podcast.
Hello.
Hey, Chris, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Just getting everything organized here. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. It's an honor to talk to you because I've been a fan for so many years. It's crazy.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. I've been on a string of Chris's as of late for some reason. I had Chris Daughtry, Chris Motionless, Chris Kale, Five Finger Death Punch. Now you, a guy who I've been watching since I was like 8 years old, used to rent the movies, the pay-per-views at Movie Town back in the day, and with my dad, watched you as a kid, and now being 26 years later, have you had a lot of fans grow up with you, of course?
Well, first of all, this is going to be the best Chris. I guarantee that. It's better. I mean, it is really cool when you have the longevity that I've had, and you see kind of the different generations, of people that you influenced. One generation in their 40s, their 30s, their 20s, their teens. And that's kind of the cool thing about doing this. Like I said, for as long as I have, you're constantly evolving and getting a new fan base involved. And I always say it doesn't matter what floor you got on the Chris Jericho elevator, if it was the first floor, if it's now at the 32nd floor. I appreciate every one of them and every era and every person that's ever enjoyed my work. I take great pride in that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was funny because I was thinking about it. I know back in like elementary school when teachers used to say like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And kids would say a wrestler, a rock star, but you've been both. And it's crazy to me. Like you've done two dream careers. How did you know that you would flourish with wrestling overall?
I mean, do you ever really know? You know what I mean? Like, I think it's more of just having a goal and a dream and just going for it. When I was a kid, I wanted to be in a rock and roll band and I wanted to be a wrestler. Those are kind of the two goals that I set for myself. And I never really worried about what anybody else thought about that. There was always a lot of people with opinions of, oh, you could never do this or you could never do that. And to me, it was always like, well, what do you care what I can and can't do? I think I can do it and I'm going to give it my best try. And, here we are 32 years later, and I've done both at very high levels and been very successful and still successful. So I think the moral of the story is if you want to do something, just go for it. Don't listen to what everybody else has to say about it. Just follow your heart and do it. And that's what I've done. And I've been, been very vindicated as a result.
And how do you rest up your voice for all this? Like wrestling, of course, you're cutting promos with being in Fozzy, the lead singer. You're singing all the time, going on tours, and then also doing your podcast, Talk is Jericho.
Well, I mean, there's, it's not that hard. I mean, there's certain things that you do. It's not kind of what you're doing when you're performing. It's what you do afterwards, especially when you're on tour. You don't go out to a club afterwards and talk over loud music and hang around in a smoky environment. And you kind of know your limits as you get more and more of a professional and okay, it's time to back off a bit, or tonight I'm just going to do nothing, or I've really got to rest my voice tonight, not talk a lot on the phone or whatever it may be. So it's more just experience and learning your limits as a singer, talking on a podcast or a radio interview or all that sort of thing, unless you're really sick or something along those lines. It's really never an issue. And if you are sick, if you have a sore throat or some kind of a cold or something, you might just have to take that day off.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was funny because I was watching your interview with Lou Brutus prior to this. He does Hard Drive XL on nights for us as well. And you were talking about the single I Still Burn off of from Fozzy, the latest record, of course. And then you said a really cool thing about it being a powerful song, a very uplifting song. And I want to discuss more about that with you.
Well, I mean, it is. It's kind of what we discussed earlier, based on never giving up, no matter what kind of adversity you face. And I think Judas was a big hit for us, but it also had kind of a little bit of everybody could relate to it, but kind of from a negative standpoint. Everything I've ever loved, I've pushed them all away, that sort of thing. We all know what that feels like. I think I Still Burn with, every time I reach my end, I get up again. It's more uplifting and positive and follow your heart, and follow your dreams type of a message behind it. So I think that's one of the reasons why it has potential to be bigger than Judas, because it has that message, which is much more of an uplifting one. Not that Judas wasn't uplifting, but there is a little bit more of a damn it type of a message to it. I knew I was going to let people down, and I did, and we can all empathize with that. But I think this one, like I said, more of just follow your hopes and dreams, and the fire that still burns inside of you lives forever if you let it. And I think that's a great message as well. So both of them are big songs for us for the same reason, because you can relate to them just on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Absolutely. I know I saw that entrance you had when you had Judas play, and then the whole entire audience was singing along to the song. And then we've been playing Sane as well. We've been playing Nowhere to Run. And one in particular that I played specifically for my feature, I have my name's Peaches on the radio. My last name's Peach. And so
Peaches, baby. Yeah, of course.
So I do Peaches Power Ballad, and I played Army of One off the latest record. And I want to discuss that more with you as well. I mean, it's obviously an emotional song.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones, as soon as you hear it, you think, okay, that's going to be a single at some point. And, I think that's the idea is, it takes a long time to build a single, unless you're, Shinedown or something like that, where you release the single and 2 weeks later it's number one for Fozzy. I mean, I Still Burn is number 8 on the charts now. And that's after, I think, 4 or 5 months, and it's still growing. It still has a bullet. So I think once I Still Burn reaches its peak, then we can look at the next single. And I think Army of One is definitely one of the candidates for it, because once again, it's very accessible. It's very catchy and has the same type of message. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? So you are an army of one. And I just think it's one of those songs, as soon as I heard it, and as soon as we kind of went through it, it's like, well, that's going to be a big one for us.
That's awesome. And one personal question of mine, because I've watched you since I was like 8, and I've seen so many of your great insults over the years, especially like Stephanie McMahon. Do you kind of like talk with her about that beforehand? Like, hey, I'm about to roast you in front of all these people, or what is that approach like for when it comes to just these great insults that you've had when it comes to wrestling?
Well, I mean, we're all playing characters on a show, so nobody really takes anything personal. I mean, you can get personal with it, and those never really work as much, because you don't want to ever get too inside baseball, as we say, where, 10% of the fan base knows it, 90% are wondering what you're talking about. But when it comes to, insulting, when you are a good guy, a baby face, and you have a great heel like Stephanie was, or MJF in AEW, whoever it may be, it's kind of open season, and just go out there. And like I said, we're playing characters. This is not, Chris and Max getting into a verbal argument in front of a million people. It's, it's Le Champion and MJF having a verbal sparring duel where, there's a lot of oohs and ahs, and that's kind of the idea. It's like watching your favorite movie where the good guy gets some great lines in on the high school bully. And that's kind of the idea. So, that's one thing about wrestling, is it's neither fish nor fowl. It's not a complete sport, and it's not a complete, entertainment spectacle. It's kind of a combination of the two. So there is a little bit of a different mindset about it, but still, I mean, it's bottom line is it is entertainment. You have to connect with the audience. And when you're doing those types of insults and jokes and one-liners, that's a great way to connect, for sure.
And with all these years of basically going out there, wearing your wrestling attire, talking to the crowd, being charismatic as you are, what advice would you give me? Because I'm about to go on stage in front of like 10,000 people for a concert that's Rockzilla. It's Falling in Reverse, Bad Wolves, Papa Roach, sure. Hollywood Undead. They're coming to Pocatello this Friday, and I have to go on stage and do an announcement. Like, what was your approach when you first started to basically go out and be who you are and just say, what's going on, everybody? That sort of thing.
Well, it's the same approach that I have with Fozzy. I mean, you just have to connect with the audience, and you're the party host. If you're introducing the show, then you have to have energy, and you have to have, excitement in what you're doing, because it's people are excited to be there. So that's, like I said, when you are in that position, you have to connect and let people know that you are there to make sure that they have a great time. That's the most important job of any frontman. Is, like I said, to be the party host. And especially if you're kicking off the show, then you have to have energy. Your energy has to match the show that's about to come, and know that everybody's there to have a great time. And that kind of makes things a little bit easier.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. It's been an honor to get the chance to talk to you. I mean, watching you on TV all these years, and then all of a sudden seeing you face to face with me is crazy.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate you.
The Artist Interrogations podcast is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com.